Yay, so I made it to Masters. So, this was the deck I chose to climb to Masters with after a friend dared me to go to Masters, because I don't really care about my rank. So I built something really stupid to go to Masters with. This is... I need to preface this with play regular Mannadium if you want to play Mannadium. This is not as good as Mannadium, but it's more interesting and I think more fun to play. It has a lot more decision making. The key cards in this deck would be our Muddy Mud Dragon, which substitutes itself as any named fusion material, as well as it is a fusion spell on legs. So we'll use this with any light or dark to go into Granganol. Now Granganol sends a level 6 or higher light or dark from our deck to the graveyard. Now, it's very versatile in what you're doing, but if you're going first, what I recommend doing is sending Titaniclad, because that gets us into the rest of our combo going first. Of course, you can do other things, of course. Its other effect is you can banish it from field or graveyard to summon a Despia monster or Dogmatica monster from your deck or extra deck. The card we go into is Luluath. It gives us a spot negate, as well as increasing the attack of our monsters permanently by 500, which comes into play quite a bit. Next, we have Titaniclad, which summons a Dogmatica monster from our deck, and would you look at that, we have a Dogmatica monster. This is Quem. So when Quem is summoned, she can send Fallen of Albaz, or a card that mentions Fallen of Albaz from the deck to the graveyard. We send Albaz the Ashen. These are our two hard garnets in the deck. What you want to do with Albaz the Ashen is you usually synchro into Axel, but on their turn. It's really hard to explain this deck because a lot of this revolves around what your opponent's doing. We've got 2 copies of Ghost Ogre because, I mean, I don't like to run Ash, but also with Ghost Ogre, it is a light, which gives us the ability to use our Bystials on the opponent's turn if they're not playing a light or dark deck. And if we have Harpier Squadron, we just go Harpier, we summon Excel, Excel summons back Harpier, we summon Satellite Warrior, and we just destroy a bunch of cards in the field. So on turn 0, we even go first. So basically, this is our 2-card combo. You want to activate Calarium to search Room Heart. Now, all you want is Room Heart and any Bystial to do what I'm about to do. Of course, there's variations you can do on this. Like, I could go very crazy here with this hand. But we're just going to do it with the Room Heart and the Lubellion. So, pretend I searched Saranir with that Lubellion. I will get the Jerusalem instead, but pretend I searched the Saranir. Now, what you want to do is go into Muddy Mud Dragon. So Lubellion's also really nice because it gets you to your spell and traps. Now that we've summoned Muddy Mud Dragon, we activate this Saranir that we quote-unquote searched, of course, to banish the Room Heart to summon itself. Actually, yeah, you know what, we'll go into the extension. So, we'll summon back the Lubellion. If we didn't have Lubellion, we could have just fused with Saranir. We'll use the Saranir. This will send Etude of the Branded to grave. Then we'll use the Lubellion. Activate Branded Beast. And then from here, we just fuse using Muddy Mud Dragon into Granganol. Summon out Granganol. Granganol will send a card. We'll send Titaniclad. And that's good enough to end our turn on. I mean, we do have the other Bystial to make Branded Beast live. But I'm gonna just show this how it is. So on our end phase, this will trigger to get Etude back. This will trigger to summon use Titaniclad to summon Ecclesia. And then Ecclesia will send Albaz the Ashen. And then if they summon a monster from their hand using a monster effect, this will trigger, and then this will trigger. So this deck was made for the purpose of entertaining, and oh boy does it deliver. So now that you know the basic combo, I'm going to show you a more extended version against Labyrinth. So we get to go first against Labyrinth, which is always feeling good. Labyrinth makes me mad, makes me sad, does not make me glad. So we have our extender, we have our tuners, Now here, I could have brought back the Lubellion here. But yeah, it's a small misplay, but it's inconsequential. Plus, it makes Branded Beast live earlier, so I wouldn't say it's that bad. So we go into Barone here. This is also an earlier version of the deck, so if you see some cards that are not in the deck, in the final version, just know. So this was one of the most interesting games I had. So we summon out our Luluwaith of Granganol because they summoned a monster from hand using Gamma, which is fantastic for us. Although we're not going to get the effect of Quem, Luluwaith, I felt like I just wanted to summon her here, so I did. I was still figuring out the deck at this point, so I went for Regained instead of Beast, which is 9 out of 10 times it's better. So they go for the Raigeki, we have the reframing. To get rid of the Raigeki, we tribute for Beast to search out the... to force out the back row. They set Terrors of Overroot, so we get to see that, which is beautiful because that means we can play around it. Regain triggers, bringing back Saranir. We use the Druisworm to remove Lady. They remove our Branded Beast, which kind of sucks because there's really no way of getting it back unless you want to run another bricky card. So, going into this turn, we don't have a way of getting over the big lady. So we'll Synchro into a Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel will force out the back row. Saranir will trigger, sending a card. We'll max C here. We'll draw one. Okay, now... the reason why I kept the Duster is I wanted to summon Chaos Angel before triggering the Terrors of Overroot. So I forced out the one on the left instead. So now we force out the Terrors of Overroot. They're doing exactly what I want them to do. Getting rid of my Chaos Angel to summon Albaz. We'll destroy our own Albaz using our Obsidian. And at this point, I'm just searching cards because I'm trying to piece a way to out the big lady over there. So now we attack over that. And here's where the spice happens. Magnamut adds the Druisworm to our hand. They activate their card. We activate Druisworm in response. Now, we haven't used the send effect of Druisworm either. So we're going to do something really spicy. We target our own Chaos Angel. Activate Regained. Putting our Chaos Angel back. Then we use Etude to go back into Chaos Angel, who is... the banish is not once per turn on Chaos Angel. So Chaos Angel triggers, targeting the back row. They bounce our Chaos Angel, which will trigger Albaz the Ashen in the graveyard to come back. Plus, we still have the effect of Druisworm to remove the Lady Labyrinth. But they just see it's GG's here, because they got nothing. They got nothing. So we open the nuts, and my opponent doesn't have anything, which is beautiful. This is the Mannadium Mirror match. So we get the arrival. We're going full combo plus extenders, balls to the wall crazy because Nib doesn't exist. I've never seen Nib with my own eyes, therefore it doesn't exist except when I get nibbed. So you've seen this before. It's the basic fusion setup combo with a little bit of extra. So we're popping balls, we're summoning balls. We go into our Mud Dragon. We use the Saranir here to summon itself. Get rid of it for Lubellion. And yep, y'all know the song and dance. We send Etude, activate Beast, go into Granola, go into Chengying, and we have an extra V-Source just chilling here. I probably could have done something with that. But yeah, Quem sends Albaz, and we're completely set up for this turn. So, the nice thing about Etude is any monster used for Synchro, Fusion, and or Link is banished instead. But for only our opponent's monsters, as long as we control a Bystial. I see a Fenrir. Fenrir is very strong against this deck, so I'm like, I'll just opt to get rid of it and pray. So, they summon their Reichardt. They activate Peaceful Planet. I'm cool with whatever they're doing. It matters not to me. They summon from the extra deck, summoning Albaz back. They add Primeval Planet. Now, here's where there's a problem, because they can use Primeval Planet to pop Etude, which makes it so their monsters do not get banished. But we problem solve in this deck. So I use Etude to Synchro summon into Stardust Excel. Stardust Excel will bring back a bowl. And then here, instead of going into my regular Satellite Warrior play, I will go into Stardust Dispatcher. What this gives us is a monster negate / destroy, plus a negate of a destruction effect, which Primeval Planet so happens to be. So they'll use their card to summon their Scareclaw. We'll banish Granola to summon out our Luluwaith. We'll stop the effect of planets trying to destroy our Etude. And, I mean, what do they do from here? Here I'm just like, I could use Cheng Ying by banishing the Reframing from Grave, but I mean, like, it is what it is. So they go into this effect, and I just want to pump my monsters, so I use the effect of Luluwaith, and yeah, that's just GG. So here's a super interesting one that made no sense to me, honestly. But it was one of the interesting games, and I'm trying to get the most interesting games out to all of you. So they go into Isolde, and I thought they were going to go for an FTK, but then they add a Makunko to hand, and I'm like, what the hell are they playing? They go for the Bamboo Sword, Broken Bamboo Sword. So, just to show you all, if you activate a Bamboo Sword while this card is already face up in the field, it skips your opponent's main phase 1. So I'm like, okay, no main phase 1, I'll just use my main phase 2. Standby phase, they activate Thunder Ruler. During your opponent's standby phase, you can activate this card. There is no battle phase this turn. So I don't know why I don't have a main phase 2, but I was only able to go to the end of my turn. So they use Isolde's effect to get the double-edged sword. And I'm like, what do I even do here? I can't do anything. But they put a light in the graveyard, and that was their first mistake. They go into the access code. But since they're playing Makunko, I'm not going into Satellite Warrior because it makes no sense against Makunko. So I go into the Axel Stardust, use the Druswim to get rid of the access code. I don't want them going for game after skipping my turn. Yep, they bring out the green one. That's what I was waiting for. That's what we're waiting for! So we go straight into our Cheng Ying, and then immediately... Oh wait, we wait a little bit. Then we use our Saranir. So that we can trigger Cheng Ying, because the green Makunko is the biggest pain in the ass you will ever come across. It makes all of the Makunko cards untargetable. And the Makunko cards can already not be destroyed by battle and destroyed by card effect and all of that nonsense. Okay, our main phase 1 was skipped. We just go straight back to main phase 2 because if we attack into that card, we're just going to take the battle damage and nothing will happen. So here's where my Galomas play. I put the Magnamut in defense mode. They take my Cheng Ying with Rivalry, but I was prepared to get rid of my own Cheng Ying. So we summon Ruin Heart, go into a Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel triggers, we're getting rid of all of their Makunko stuff because it's really hard to play into Makunko with this deck. No less Makunko that turn skips you. By the way, for those who wondered how I got rid of my own Cheng Ying, I banished the Reflection when I triggered Cheng Ying's effect. So we're pretty set up. We're in a good spot here. Yep, they have another turn skip. And I'm just like, I don't want them to draw more cards because I can see that their hand is somewhat bricked up. So I don't want them to draw more cards. But I let the Golden Bamboo Sword go through because I'm like, I need to use my final negate for something important. Like anything that brings out the green Makunko. Because we don't have access to Cheng Ying anymore. But I did stop them from going into Ohime because I didn't want to take the damage, and I don't think they can get through the green Makunko, so... We just play normally. They're at 8k. See, this is why I should have summoned the Drusworm in attack position. So instead, I'm like, I don't have lethal damage, I might as well just attack. And reuse our Baron later, I guess. They go for the Ohime. They add that card, but it's not going to be enough. Here I'm thinking they're out of Makanko cards. So they go for a second Isolde. They're not out of Makanko cards, so I don't know what happened there. They go for Barricade, Void Blocker, and I think they're just summoning monsters here out of sheer salt. We get rid of the second Ceasefire, because that would have been another goddamn turn skip. And yeah, we just go for game. Very interesting deck. I might want to try it. But the Makanko cards are all ultra rares and expensive. And yeah.